There was a time in my life when years went by in a dark blur. There was no sunlight, no season, no meaning. And if you would have asked me during that time if I had any kids, I probably would have told you no, but I did. I had 5 babies. 5 babies that was taken because of my addiction, because of a disease that had kept me in bondage for so many years. My kids are my life. So it felt like my life had been shattered into 5 different pieces that I could never make whole again. How does a person lose her kids? It's a good question. I always wanted to be a mom, to give a child the love and nourishment that I felt like I missed out on from my parents. I never got a chance to meet my dad, and this is a man whose name I carried for 35 years. I did get a chance to meet my mom once. I was raised by my grandmother, and she did the best she could until she got sick, and me and my sister were sent to foster care. So from place to place, a runaway child, group home, juvenile detentions, and the streets raised me. I was what you called a ward of the state until I aged out. I felt so abandoned, lost, and alone. I vowed I would be a much better parent. But this was not possible while stuck in a lifestyle, addicted to drugs, in and out of prison, unhealthy and abusive relationships. So by the time I had 3 babies and was pregnant with baby number 4, let's just say it was determined that I was an unfit parent and my babies was taken by DCFS. I tried to keep my 4th baby. I went to rehab, but I relapsed. And my addiction sucked me in like a vacuum cleaner. Baby number 4 was taken as well. Baby number 5. By now I'm starting to think I must be fertile. Really fertile. I don't know how this keeps happening to me. My fight was over. I didn't want to get attached. The entire pregnancy, I was in full-blown denial. For 2 days, I even denied the labor pains. I left the hospital right after birth because I could not stand to watch them take another baby from me. It was one of the darkest places I have ever been. I had nothing to live for. There was a house that I used to walk past while I was homeless, looking in the windows, weeping to God. Why can't that be me and my babies inside that house, snuggled together? Why am I all alone? Why have thou forsaken me? The hurt, the long yearning, the anguish, the painful pit I lived in and day out was unbelievable. I was broken in a million pieces, shattered. I no longer felt human, and I wanted to escape. I had to learn how to cut off my feelings and emotions concerning my kids. I had to be tough to survive living in the streets. So after being in treatment countless of times, I went back to give it one last try. And plus, I found I was pregnant again. 3 months with baby number 6. So in rehab, we took a group walk to the park, and I saw a woman pushing her baby in a swing. I broke down crying. Something inside of me suddenly felt awoke. It was like, hey, yeah, you a mom too. I am a mom. At that moment, I knew that I would go to any means to keep this baby and to find my other children. It just felt like something that I hadn't felt in so long. Some hope. So I had a vision that one day, me and all 6 of my kids would be together in the same room. Prayer became a part of my life again, and I trusted God with everything. I asked God to show me how. Now, I knew that this would take a lot of perseverance and hard work, because I didn't even know where my kids was at. When this baby come, I will pour all the love into her that I couldn't give my other children. I completed treatment in 2006, and I began my road to recovery. Side note, I have been clean ever since. Yes! So life began to look brighter. I lived with my boyfriend, Willie, and we began to make preparations for the baby bedroom. Willie asked me for my hand in marriage, and I said yes. It felt like everything was finally going uphill. But after I had my baby, I was told I would not be able to keep this child either. That she would be taken from the hospital the following day. I was 6 months clean. I was going to meetings. I was working the steps. I was doing everything I was supposed to be doing, and they were still taking my kids from me. I started to feel that dark, painful pit again. I thought I would never have a chance to be a mom, to see any of my 6 kids. That negative thinking and rock bottom feeling always meant the end. Can somebody say, but God? Thank you. But God decided to make this my new beginning. Every other time I would leave the hospital before DCFS coming from a place of guilt and shame. I knew in my brokenness I had to make better decisions. This time I stayed at the hospital with my baby until the foster mom, Lisa, came to pick her up. When Lisa arrived, she handed me a picture of my oldest son. His name had changed, but he was the same son that I had made broken promises to. I was sad, I was confused, and I was happy to find out she had adopted him and he was alive and well. I did not know how all of this would work out, but this gave me hope that maybe I could find my other 4 kids. I became highly motivated and surrounded myself in positivity. During the process of getting my new baby home, I would visit once a week, and sometimes my oldest son could join us. I began to get to know him, and we enjoyed our similarities. In 4 months, the courts found me fit. In 6 months, my baby was home. In 8 months, that case was closed. Yes. So my visits continue with my oldest son. His adopted mom, Lisa, became our extended family, and in a few years past, Lisa called to say, if I can get the court's approval, my son can move back home. I know she loved our son as her own, and she wanted what was best for us. I showed up to the courthouse every single day until I learned how to file for a court motion. I petitioned the courts, and he came home. So, by this time, I had learned that my other daughters and son was living in a small town nearby. I reached out to their adopted mom, and she told me I would never see them again. She often reminded me of the damage I had caused and even the damage that was out of my control. Now, this was hard for me to accept, but my sponsor and my support system told me this would happen only in God's time. So I kept myself busy on positive things. As the years passed, I got a message from my oldest daughter saying she is 18 and wants to see me. That's my Shika Wika. I knew I wasn't supposed to see her, but I wanted it so badly. I had a car, I had gas, and I had license. So I drove to her town thinking I'll text her when I get there. This small town had no reception, like no reception at all. So I began to panic and then pray. I told God, I will knock on every single door in this town until I find her. But maybe you can save me some time. Just show me where the house at. And as I was praying this, I looked to my left and I seen one of my daughters sitting on the porch. I stopped my car in the middle of the street and I went and I hugged her and I told her she was beautiful. Then my daughter ran out of the house, jumped in my car, and we took off. We went down the road to hug each other and embrace each other in tears. She told me, you wasn't supposed to know the address. I told her, blame it on God. I developed a relationship with my daughter, and eventually she moved home. Then my second daughter moved home. That's my Shiny Bonnie. And by now, I had snuck and seen all 6 of my kids, but not all together. So my dream is to see them all together. On June 26, 2019, my son, Dejan, turned 18. And for his birthday, all 6 of my kids, my grandson, and my husband was all in the same room. Huh. We went swimming, out to eat, chilled at my house. This is a dream of so many years come true. I felt so light, like I was floating. I guess I do believe in a natural high. I believe this day has helped me heal from a dark place I once lived. Whew, the sunlight feels good. And the missing pieces to my puzzle has been very well put back together again.